Hi there, I'm the Declutter Homemaker. I believe in calm corners, slow routines, and small changes that actually make your home feel better, not just look better. For years, I thought that the solution to clutter was more storage better baskets or a whole weekend spent cleaning. But honestly, the biggest shift came when I stopped trying to do more and started letting go of what didn't serve me anymore. Because here's the truth, most of us don't need more advice on how to fold. We need a starting point, something real and doable when you've only got 10 minutes and your brain feels full. That's what today's list is. 12 things that quietly pile up in our homes and sometimes in our heads. Each one can be tackled in about 15 minutes. No perfection, no pressure, just less mess, more mental space. The first one is hiding right behind your bathroom door, and it's probably expired. Let's begin. First, let's start with something simple but surprisingly powerful. There are things you once thought I'll use this soon, so you tuck them away. Then you forgot about them. Month after month, they just sit there, taking up space and quietly reminding you that you still haven't used them. Start with the things that were meant to be used up, the consumables. A face mask packet that's been in the drawer since last winter, a jar of herbal tea. You never really liked a half-used bottle of hair serum that made your roots greasy, or protein bars from a health kick that didn't stick. Maybe it's a tin of flavored nuts someone gifted you, or a candle that smells too strong once lit. Each of these might feel too small to matter, but together they take up room you could be using for what does fit your life now. And more than that, they quietly weigh on you, reminding you of what you should be using but aren't. You don't need to declutter the whole cabinet. Just choose one spot, the bathroom shelf, the spice basket, or the snack drawer. Pull everything out and ask one simple question. Am I really going to use this in the next week? If the answer is no, it's okay to let it go. I once kept a jar of expensive honey a friend gave me for a special occasion. But I don't even like sweet things. It just sat there sticky and crystallized every time I opened the fridge. One day I gave it to a friend who bakes. Suddenly my fridge looked lighter. And honestly, so did my head. Every time you release something you never used but felt guilty keeping you free up not just a bit of space but also that small corner of mental clutter. These are the easiest items to start with because you were never using them anyway. And once you clear one little shelf, you'll feel ready to move on to the next thing that looks harmless but quietly adds up. And if you love the feeling of real progress, not just organizing, but actually seeing the clean space appear, then don't miss tomorrow's video. I'm taking you into my night routine for a deep clean after dark. It's calm, a little bit magical, and weirdly satisfying. Honestly, watching that carpet transform was better than scrolling TikTok. Next, let's talk about something that sneaks in quietly and multiplies fast. You tell yourself you're being eco-friendly. You buy reusable bags. Then, one week you forget to bring them. So you buy more, and then again, and again. Before long, you've got a cabinet, a doorknob, or a car trunk full of bags that no one knows what to do with. The reusable bag pile is one of those things that feels small until it's not. They're too useful to throw out, too many to actually use, and just annoying enough that every time you see them, you feel a tiny bit overwhelmed. Here's a simple way to fix it. Choose a number, maybe 5, maybe 10, depending on your family size and shopping routine. That's your limit. Then find one designated spot, a basket near the door, a hook in the entryway, or the trunk of your car. Whatever you keep has to fit in that one place. The rest, donate to a food bank, a community pantry, or a local shelter that might use them for distribution. I used to keep a whole tote bag filled with other tote bags. And every time I went shopping, I'd forget where they were or grab the wrong one. Once I pared it down to 5 kept by the door and got rid of the rest, I stopped dreading that last-minute scramble before heading out. It's a small fix, but suddenly the space by your door isn't a dumping ground. It's just clear. And once you make peace with the bag pile, you'll be ready to face something bigger. The kitchen tools we all swore we'd use but never did. Now we'll move into the kitchen where some of our biggest regrets are tucked away. We all have that one kitchen gadget we swore would change everything. Maybe it was the pressure cooker, the baby food maker, the third coffee machine, or a sandwich press you used exactly once. It felt like a good idea at the time, a smarter, more efficient version of yourself. But now it just sits there taking up half a shelf. Here's the thing. These appliances are big, which means letting go of even one can clear a surprising amount of space. And with space comes ease. You stop bumping into things. You stop shifting one item to reach another. You stop feeling like your kitchen is too small. Start by picking the appliance you haven't used in over a year. Ask yourself honestly, if I didn't already own this, would I go buy it again today? If not, it's probably safe to let it go. I once had a beautiful, expensive slow cooker that lived in my bottom cabinet for 3 years. I never reached for it. Every time I needed that space, I worked around it, until one day I realized I was organizing my kitchen around something I didn't even use. I let it go. I haven't missed it once. When you release the item, you release the pressure that came with it. The pressure to cook differently, live differently, be someone else. That alone is worth the shelf space. And once that shelf is clear, it's time to look at something even more subtle. The gifts you've kept, not because you love them, but because you feel like you should. Let's shift to something more emotional, the things we keep out of guilt, not love. Some things stay in our homes not because we love them, but because someone gave them to us. A candle you'll never light, a scarf you'd never choose, a set of mugs that don't fit your shelf but came from someone you care about. These gifts come with good intentions, but over time they become something else, clutter wrapped in guilt. You don't use them, you don't love them, but you feel like letting go would be ungrateful. Here's what helped me separating the object from the gesture. The gift was the moment of kindness, not the item itself. You've already received the love. You don't need to keep the thing. Try this. Gather 3 items you've been keeping just because they were gifts. Ask yourself, would I still keep this if it weren't from someone I know? If the answer is no, release it with gratitude. I once held onto a decorative tray from a coworker for 4 years. It didn't match my home. I never used it, but I kept it because she meant well. One day, I realized every time I saw it, I felt awkward. That's not how a gift should feel. I donated it and someone else picked it up with joy. That felt better than keeping it out of guilt. You deserve a home filled with things that reflect you, not just your relationships, but your reality. Letting go of a gift doesn't erase the connection. It makes room for your own voice. And once you've done that, it becomes easier to deal with another kind of clutter. The quiet army of duplicates you didn't even realize were building up. Here's another one that hides in plain sight, duplicates that slowly eat up space. You needed scissors, you couldn't find them, so you bought more. Then, it happened with tape, then with spatulas. Before long, your drawers are full, but somehow you still can't find what you need when you need it. Duplicates are sneaky. They don't feel like clutter because each one seems useful, but when you have 5 vegetable peelers or 3 hairbrushes and only ever use one, it's no longer about function, it's noise. The fix is simple. Pull out every version of one item. All the spatulas, all the scissors, all the black t-shirts, lay them side by side. Choose your favorites, the ones you actually reach for. Let go of the rest. One Saturday morning, I emptied my kitchen tools drawer. I found 3 identical ladles, 2 whisks, and 4 ice cream scoops. I kept the best one of each, donated the rest. Now, every time I open that drawer, it's just easy. It's not about minimalism, it's about ease. The fewer choices you have to sort through, the faster your day moves. That's clarity. And once you feel that clarity in your drawers, you'll want to feel it in your closet too, which brings us to clothes. Let's step into the closet and the expectations we store inside it. You open your closet and think, I have nothing to wear. But the truth is, you have plenty. It's just that most of it doesn't match who you are right now. Maybe it's jeans that don't fit, dresses that suited another season of life, office wear from a job you left, or workout gear you bought during a short burst of motivation. These clothes aren't bad, they're just not you anymore. Here's what changed for me. I stopped asking, should I keep this? And started asking, would I put this on today without hesitation? That one question helped me see which pieces actually belong in my life now. Try this. Choose 5 items you love to wear. The ones that fit well, feel right, and suit your current routines. Then use those as a filter. Anything that doesn't meet that standard, thank it and let it go. After my second child, I kept a blazer I used to wear to client meetings. Every time I saw it, I felt like I should be that version of me again. But I wasn't. Letting it go didn't mean I'd lost something. It meant I was finally dressing for the life I do have. When your wardrobe reflects your real life, not your past, or your maybe one-day self, getting dressed becomes simple, peaceful even. And that feeling, it's worth more than any pair of sale jeans. Now let's take that same mindset and apply it to the things we're not even wearing, the ones stuffed into closets and drawers, just in case. Now on to the linen closet, the one you avoid opening unless absolutely necessary. It starts with good intentions, an extra set of sheets for guests' backup towels just in case, a few cozy blankets for winter. But over time, the linen closet turns into a game of Tetris. You shove things in, slam the door, and hope nothing falls out. The problem isn't the linens themselves. It's the quiet belief that more is always safer. That one day you might need 7 hand towels or 5 mismatched pillowcases. But in reality, you use the same 2 or 3 things over and over. The rest just sit there. Try this. Gather all your linens not just from the closet, but from storage bins, under bed boxes, and forgotten shelves. Sort by type sheets, towels, blankets. Then ask, how many of these do I actually use in a typical week? I used to keep 4 sets of queen sheets even though I only rotated 2. The rest were crumpled, unlabeled, and impossible to match. One afternoon, I pulled everything out, folded what I used, and donated the rest. Now changing the sheets doesn't feel like a scavenger hunt. When your linen closet only holds what you love and actually use it, stops being a storage headache and starts being a support system. And when that space breathes, so do you. Next, let's look at something that often hides in plain sight, not in a closet, but in the emotional weight of who we used to be. This next one goes deeper into the memories we keep, even when they weigh us down. Some clutter doesn't look messy. It sits quietly in boxes and corners, in bins marked someday. Office clothes from a job you left, craft supplies from a hobby that no longer lights you up, baby books from when your kids were little, and now they're taller than you. These items hold stories. They remind us of who we were or who we hoped to become. And that's what makes them hard to let go of. It's not just a sweater. It's a version of you. But here's what I've learned. When something no longer reflects your life, it slowly becomes a weight. You don't notice it at first, but over time it pulls on your energy, quietly telling you there's something unfinished, something undone, even if it's not true. Try this. Choose just one box, one shelf, or one drawer that holds past life items, label it, sit with it, and then item by item ask, is this part of the life I'm living today? If not, you can thank it. Photograph it. Let it go. I once kept a pair of heels from my corporate job, gorgeous, expensive, barely worn, but I work from home now. Every time I saw them, I felt like I was supposed to get back to something I had already outgrown. Letting them go wasn't sad, it was a quiet kind of relief. You are allowed to grow out of things, out of jobs, routines, hobbies, identities. Letting go of what no longer fits doesn't erase your past, it honors your present. And when you're ready to return to the everyday, to what's right in front of you, there's one category that builds up, fast spreads everywhere, and always feels a little intimidating. Have you ever felt buried under paper even when everything looks fine on the surface? Paper is sneaky. It doesn't take up much space until it's everywhere. On the counter, in drawers, stuck between cookbooks, notes from school, old bills, expired coupons, lists you meant to check, mail you meant to open. Most of us don't keep paper because we love it. We keep it because we might need it, or because we're afraid of throwing away something important. So instead of deciding, we just stack. Here's how to break the cycle. Set a timer for 15 minutes. That's it. Pick one pile, a tray, a drawer, a stack by the fridge. As you go through it, sort everything into 3 quick categories. Recycle, you don't need it. Action, you need to do something with it. Keep, but only if it's really necessary. I used to have a basket for incoming papers. It turned into a black hole. One day, I went through it and realized half of it was expired. The rest I had already handled and just never tossed. Once I cleared it, I set a new rule incoming. Paper has 48 hours to find a home, or it goes. When you remove paper piles, you remove that background noise, the quiet stress of I still need to deal with that. And in their place, you get a surface that feels finished, a space that says you're caught up. Next, let's talk about a different kind of unfinished, not bills, but projects, the ones that never quite got done and now quietly make you feel behind. Now let's talk about the unfinished, not messy, just quietly haunting your to-do list. It started with excitement. A DIY shelf you saw on Pinterest, a cross-stitch kit, a half-written journal, a photo album you meant to complete. You bought the supplies, maybe even started, and then life got busy. Now, those projects sit in corners and boxes whispering, "You never finished me." You pass them and feel a twinge of guilt, or just avoid looking altogether. Not because you don't care, but because you're already stretched thin. Here's the shift. Not every project needs to be finished. Some served their purpose already. Giving you a moment of creativity or hope, that was enough. So try this. Choose one small project you know you'll finish in under an hour, something quick, satisfying. Do it this week. Then look at the others and ask, is this something I genuinely still want to complete or just something I feel bad about? I once held onto a scrapbook I meant to make after a vacation. The photos stayed in envelopes for 4 years. Every time I saw them, I felt behind. Finally, I let go of the perfect album idea, picked my 10 favorite photos, framed them done. The guilt disappeared with the clutter. Finishing a project feels good, but so does releasing one that no longer matters. Either way, you're no longer stuck in limbo. And with that energy shift, you're ready to look beyond the physical space into the digital clutter that's just as heavy. Let's step into the digital space clutter you can't see but definitely feel. Your home might look tidy, but your phone, your laptop, they're overflowing. Screens packed with unused apps, blurry screenshots, random notes, unopened emails. And even though it's not mess in the traditional sense, it adds to the mental load. Every time you open your device, it's like stepping into digital noise. Here's what makes this clutter tricky. It doesn't take up floor space, so it's easy to ignore. But it still drains your attention. It still clutters your day. Try this. Pick just one digital category: apps, photos, or downloads. Set a 10-minute timer. Delete anything you haven't used, looked at, or needed in the last 3 months. I started with my phone. I had 3 meditation apps, 2 weather apps, and 400 photos, most of them duplicates or memes. In one evening, I deleted over 100 apps and cleared my camera roll by 40%. I didn't just get back storage, I got back clarity. The fewer choices your brain has to filter through, the calmer you feel. Digital space affects mental space, and you deserve both to feel light. Now let's finish with one last category. It's not in your drawers, your closet, or your phone. It's in plain sight, and it doesn't look like clutter at all. And finally, let's talk about the things on your walls, your shelves, your tabletops, the ones that no longer reflect who you are. Some clutter is disguised as beauty. A vase from your wedding, a wall sign you bought 5 years ago, a piece of art that filled the space but never really matched your style. You walk past it every day and yet it doesn't make you feel anything. We often keep decor because it was expensive, or gifted, or still in good condition. But what we don't ask is, does this still reflect who I am now, not who I used to be, not who I thought I'd become, but me today? Try this. Choose 3 decorative items in your home. Just 3. Look at them slowly and ask, if I saw this in a store today, would I buy it again? If the answer is no, consider letting it go or at least putting it away for now. I once had a large framed print in my hallway. It matched my old apartment, not this one, but I kept it because it fit the wall. One day I took it down. Just like that, the hallway felt more open. I didn't replace it for months. I didn't need to. The absence felt like peace. Your home doesn't need to be full to feel warm. It just needs to hold things that reflect the life you're living, not just decorating. Because when every object around you supports who you are now, you don't just have a tidy home. You have a calm one. 12 small decisions, that's all it takes. You don't have to overhaul your whole home. Just clear one drawer, one shelf, one thing that no longer fits. If even one of these helped you breathe a little easier today, that's enough. I've also made a video walking through how to declutter each room step by step. It pairs perfectly with what we covered here. If this felt helpful, go ahead and like or subscribe, not for the algorithm, but so I know what actually supports you. And trust me, you'll want to come back tomorrow. I'm sharing my nighttime deep cleaning routine, and something about cleaning when the house is dark and quiet just hits different. It's soothing, energizing, and honestly kind of addictive. You'll see why.